Okay. So, I'm angry. I shouldn't be. My friend Andrea is telling me to not take this personally, even though it is personal. I have this professor, um, who I already didn't like. I met him, basically the first person I met, first teacher I met, and he became my personal tutor. So those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, they basically assign a tutor who is a professor who teaches on your course to like 5 or 6 students in the course, and they're supposed to be there basically to help you with anything that you need. You need to trust them with your academic career in some regards. I mean, obviously, it's more up to the student to achieve what they need to achieve. But I got this guy, and I immediately disliked him. I disliked him for personal reasons, for just things like I didn't like personally. Nothing against him. Like I thought he's my perfectly nice man, but you know, in our first session where we meet with him and we go to this meeting, and that's all lovely, except that he spends the meeting talking about how he used to be the head of the department, and basically like not going over all the things he was like assigned to go over with us. Instead, he was talking about how there were better things to go over. Like he liked the way, like, well, the way he used to do it was like this, and it just got this like really bitter kind of bullshit fucking vibe. Where I was like, well, I don't really want to deal with that this whole time, but I'll suck it up. I'll deal with it. He's, like I said, he's probably perfectly nice. And then I asked him a couple questions that I really needed the answers to. I was feeling really overwhelmed and lost, and kind of like I don't even know where to begin. I have no idea where to begin. So yeah, I took his answers, and they were all wrong, and I had to figure it out on my own, which, you know, no big deal. I figured it out on my own, but not exactly the kind of person I want to trust academically. I don't really want to academically trust anybody who doesn't trust computers. Okay, I mean, I get it. Don't trust the machines. One day we'll have a war. But come on. I mean, I get that you don't want everybody on the computer all the time. Like, you might have an aversion. You like the written word so much more, but it just acted like it was ridiculous that we could sign up for classes online, or that we could modify our schedules online, that we could do all the things that we're doing. We used to have to go in and sign all these papers, and he was like, I guess it's more efficient this way, but well, at least it's good for you guys. So, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like people who are just inherently fucking curmudgeons and critics and angry about things. Like, get with the flow, adapt, be human. But that's not it. I knew, like, okay, so I went in and I got them to switch my tutor. Like, peace, I'm out of here, deuces. I don't want to spend any time alone with you, or try to develop or cultivate a relationship as a tutee and a tutor. I don't, no, that doesn't sound like you're gonna actually help me. And then, yeah, so there's all that. Let me just, I swear these video blogs are gonna be like little advertisements for Diet Coke. It's all I drink if it's not alcohol. I'm kidding. Anyway, so today, this is going to sound really petty, but it wasn't. I swear to God, it was like, just like it was so rude. It was so it was just outrageous. He split us into groups, like 4 and 5, and gave us, like, we had the questions prepared for the literature that he gave us, and he was like, each group had a question, and we were talking about it. And I don't know if you guys know me, but I talk a lot. I also am really enthusiastic about literature, and I will talk a lot about it. I also like to hear about it, though. I don't always mean to dominate the conversation or be like a leader of a discussion, but if I have a lot of ideas, like I come to class prepared. I come to class ready to talk about the literature, ready to delve into it. I find it very exciting, and that's my fucking favorite thing about it. It's why I'm doing this. It's why I want to be an editor. I like fucking literature. So yeah. I was talking, and like, we were kind of like discussing certain aspects of Agamemnon. And well, let me start with this. We started the class by basically saying he expected none of us to understand it because the text was too difficult. And I guess this was like the first slight that like he's asking for like specific examples of like how the text might have been difficult. I didn't find the text difficult at all. But I was like, nobody's fucking talking, and maybe there's like people were nodding and saying it was difficult. So I was like, well, I know that like this part was a little confusing for me, and here's why. And then he was like, well, maybe if someone can give us an answer that isn't so vague. And like, really shitty. It sounds so dumb. That was the first. It was just stupid. And I didn't even think anything of it because I was like, okay, well, apparently you didn't like my answer. Whatever. And then we're in these groups, and I'm talking. And they're talking. I'm not the only fucking person talking. And the whole room is talking. And instead of that, like, where the teacher's like, all right, everybody, we're going to, like, everybody get back together. Let's talk about this as the class. No. He addresses me. And asks, okay, let me see if I can remember how I put this, because I was just so mortified that he would fucking talk to me like this. So he turns and he's like, okay, Samantha, I think I'm ready to bring the class together now. Do you think, it sounds like your discussion's going very well, but is that okay with you? I think it'd be better if we all just started having a discussion. Is that going to be okay? Is that all right? And he asked me, like, several times, and I was just staring at him, and I was, like, nodding, like, yeah, I'm not. And so I'm looking around the room, and, like, people have started to, like, giggle, and there are people across me who are just, like, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Go right ahead. Like, the problem is he just fucking talk to me as if I'm trying to, like, run his class, or I just thought it was interesting. I liked the fucking play. Should I not? Should I just come in and just, like, fuck all? Like, let him think, whatever. It was just, okay. So, I'm just not going to talk anymore. You can deal with your awkward silences. I feel like an immense amount of empathy towards teachers when there's, like, huge silences. I've been told by my professors that they were really happy that I spoke so much in class because it gets other people to talk. Other people will disagree with me. Other people will agree with me. Or whatever. Or it just breaks that silence so that there's not as much pressure. If there's always one person talking, like, you kind of want to talk over them. Whatever. It happens. I've seen it. I've fucking been in university. I've been in classes my whole life. So, yeah, I felt punished for, like, being interested and wanting to be involved. And I felt like, that's fucking dumb. Like, you want me to shut up. In the most, like, British way ever, you just told me to shut up. It was rude. And everybody in the class recognized it. And I just refused to talk. When he got to our group, when he was pointing out the questions, our group was lost, and the girl sitting next to me, like, points to me, like, oh, no, she knows what she's talking about. And I did. Man, that's not what I'm saying. I fucking read literature, and I was prepared with ideas. That doesn't mean I know anything. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just trying to fucking talk about literature. Anyway, whatever. She points at me, and I just look at her, and I'm like, no, I'm not fucking talking. I'm fucking done. So that happens. And this is how I know it's personal, at least personal toward my country of origin? Absolutely. Because shortly after, he makes this really, like, not murmurish, he's quiet anyway, but he makes this comment relating Agamemnon to Tony Blair, and about how Agamemnon didn't have a choice but to kill his daughter, and Blair didn't really have a choice but to go to Iraq with Bush. Like, I don't fucking need your political commentary, man. Like, and who is still talking about this? We all know it was wrong. I don't walk into this fucking classroom, like, waving a flag and being like, oh, yay, Bush, and fucking war on terror, fucking Eagles, everything. No. I mean, like, what the motherfuck? Who is letting this man teach? He's terrible at teaching. He might be a great lover of literature. I feel like he does. I feel like he has a passion for those things. He gets fucking, oh my god. He was talking about the Greek tragedies, and he was like, oh, that person just, he was talking about Prometheus and is getting his eyeballs picked out by fucking eagles or whatever, and he started laughing. And I'm like, maybe he knows something about this literature that I don't, that makes that funny. Or he just fucking likes terrible things. He likes terrible things because he's a terrible person. I was all like, he could be a perfectly nice human being, but I don't particularly want him as my tutor. And now I just don't think he's a nice human being. I think he's bitter, and I think he's fucking angry about being pushed out of his department of head position, and now he's got to teach to these little peons, these young people who are going to do things that aren't as good as the way that he did them when he was younger. And instead of taking that attitude and being like, maybe I can give them something, maybe I can offer something that the other teachers, the other tutors, the other professors aren't going to be able to offer because I have more experience or because I have this specific experience. You could make a good situation out of this, like, seemingly, I don't know, whatever, degrading experience he thinks he's had. Okay, maybe it sounds petty, but you weren't there. It was like, I'm not embarrassed easily. I don't really care about what people think about me. I mean, I've had teachers tell me, like, anybody else, can I have somebody else say something? And I get it. I get the message loud and clear. It's like, you're talking a lot, and, like, we need to kind of separate from you. And I try to hold my tongue, even though I always have a lot to say. Always. So, I'm fucking conscientious. I'm not this, like, fucking attention monster who doesn't even have anything of value to say. I do. But even if I didn't, why would you treat a student like that? Why would you, like, in front of, like, it was addressed to me in front of the whole class. It wasn't like he pulled me aside or he tapped on my shoulder or anything. He, like, stood next to me, leaned into me, like, here's his face, right here, and was like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you having fun running the class? I think I'm ready to start. Is that going to be okay with you? No. I think you're shit. I should teach your class. And I'm not even familiar with this fucking literature. I still think I'd do a better job, and I'd be half as condescending as you are. Fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. Yeah. Well. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. By the way, if you're wondering, it's fucking cold out now. I know my last video said it was hot, but it's fucking cold. Yeah. I said the semester is going well, too. No. It is. Yeah. I should probably end the video now. Yeah, okay. Thanks for listening to me, bitch.